What's going on, guys? I'm a regular guy with the Regular Guy Firearms channel. Thanks for watching. Okay, so you read the title, and that's exactly what it means. If you are anti-gun, if you are anti-Second Amendment, if it is your goal to be a part of any of these things, you're a friggin' coward. And here's why. Okay, now, what is it that these people want to accomplish with their little plans and whatnot, right? At worst, you have government types who would like to tell us exactly what's good for us, and that always works. And at the very least, it's people that have made an impulsive decision based on zero thinking. Okay, now, what do these people usually want? They want to limit the number of guns that are out there. Okay, and these are just talking points for the most part, but they want to limit the number of guns out there, so they want to make things harder for the criminals. Because, you know, criminals totally obey the law. Right? I mean, I'm just saying, you know, I could be like, stop, hey, quit robbing me. That's against the law. And the dude's going to be like, oh, well, shucks, and walk off. Right? A lot of these idiots tend to think that firearms are best served in the hands of only the police and the military. Now, here's the retarded part of that logic, okay? Because what is the difference between me in a green suit and me in a pair of jeans? As far as a human being, nothing. Right? The only difference is the clothes I wore that day. Do we not realize that there are literally millions of veterans who've been in combat and stuff that are now civilians? Do we not get that? Do we not understand that we are the world's most experienced fighting force, with a lot of our veterans out of the military now and walking the streets among us as civilians? You know, the same guys that you like to call crazy for things like carrying a gun. Ooh, scary word, right? But it should only be in the hands of police and military. But the problem is that your civilian populace is flooded with former police and military. Do you understand how asinine it sounds? For someone to call... I've been there before, where I'm just in a regular pair of jeans, okay, and a friend of, like, my ex-girlfriend's or something would find out that I carry a gun through her, and then they would be like, oh man, you're crazy. Why? Because I'm a part of the world's most trained fighting force, the most powerful thing that's ever been assembled. You would think that if some things were to go sour, you would want me to be there with a loaded gun ready to deal with it. And it ain't just me, it's anybody else who deals with this. Okay? Instead of having to call these people, the dude that's already got the training is standing right there. Why are you trying to make that dude's life difficult? Why are you trashing on the former police and military dudes? Oh, well, listen, you tell me thank you for your service, and then when I switch clothing, you call me crazy. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Okay? And when you ask questions like this, people get balled up when they have this line of thought, but it's because they don't know how to think correctly. Okay? What I have heard a million times on television and stuff like that is they consistently ask for background checks. We need background checks. A universal dirt. We have them already. You idiots. We have them already. It's called a NICS check. If you buy a gun anywhere in the United States, you have to pass a mandatory federal background check. That's everybody, folks. Oh, and by the way, if you plan on carrying a gun, you also have to get a permit for it in that state. So what exactly are you talking about? Because it's already there. See, the problem is that people who follow this thought process don't know how to think correctly, because this is already a thing. Okay? People have like this really, really funny thought process because the people who are the least knowledgeable by far on firearms and the statistics behind firearms and what gunfights actually consist of are the people trying to tell us how many friggin' rounds we need for a gunfight by limiting your magazine size or count or whatever it is. Okay. Calling a standard capacity magazine anything but is stupid. You are stupid. Okay? Because they're like, oh, well, for the criminals will get what you don't want them to have because they don't care. Now, the law-abiding guys that are now forced to carry your way reduced size magazines and stuff like that are now put into a very precarious situation because we are forced to accept something that no one wants to ever deal with, and that is less ammunition in the gunfight. Okay, your 7-round limit or your 10-round limit when the gun I'm carrying, the standard capacity magazines for it are 15. Why would you take sections of my life support equipment away? Okay. Oh, well, it's not about that. No, it's not about that because you didn't think about that correctly. You don't know how to think correctly. Okay? And a lot of people that may be watching this video, maybe, they may be thumbing their nose at what I have to say about it, but that's fine. It's because you don't possess the friggin' balls to do any of that. You wouldn't trust yourself with one. That's why you wouldn't trust me with one. That, friends, is a heavy superiority complex that affects you, not me. Okay? People like this want Second Amendment advocacy groups such as the NRA, ILA, Gun Owners of America, and the various others that are out there to be listed as domestic terrorists. Do you know what a terrorist is? I don't think you do. Because what a terrorist does is that they will threaten violence to achieve their means. How many death threats have I gotten on this page from anti-gun people? About a dozen. But I'm the domestic terrorist. Other guys that advocate what we do and what we want to remain a standard of freedom in this country, we're domestic terrorists. It seems like the culture of tolerance doesn't know how to tolerate anything. Okay? Because the only group of people that I've ever seen that actually practices legitimate tolerance is gun guys, military dudes, police. And I'm going to prove that. And the reason why I prove that is that if I make a comment that someone doesn't like, someone else will have the thought that, you know what, I have the right to not be offended, so I'm not going to tolerate anything that that dude has to say. It's kind of a two-way street. And you shutting other people up or listing them as domestic terrorists because they make you feel uncomfortable, you're a coward. You are afraid of dealing with things that you don't like. You're afraid of being confronted with your own mortality. And of course, this entire video is addressing people opposed to this. Okay? On a regular basis, gun guys are threatened with violence. Okay? It is literally never us that threatens violence on people trying to take our property and our freedom from us. Okay? People have threatened to kill me because I support the Second Amendment and the Constitution of the United States versus Marxism and socialism and communism, which have all yielded really great results on their own people. I'm telling you what, racking up 80 million dead of their own. Just saying. But you can't really label us this if you do this. Because threatening violence is terrorism, as I just went over. Okay? And here's the really screwed up part. Okay? The gun control advocacy dudes are always the kind of people that try to impulsively solve an issue based on how they feel. They feel like guns are the problem instead of actually investigating it. Okay? Because we have an abysmal mental health system. We do. No one pays attention to it. Just nobody. No one wants to get to the actual root causes of behavior like this. No one wants to actually put a stop to the media sensation that is always created after stuff like this. Because what most people seem to fail to understand is that when it's sensationalized, people are going to want to get famous. Okay? The main problem, okay, with gun control type people, and the reason why they are the dumbest people on the planet, is that you have done nothing at all. You have done nothing. Want to know how I know this? Okay, well, in the 90s we dealt with the Clinton-era assault weapons ban that did nothing to curb violence in the country. After it went away, crime rates went down. Even further. Okay? Gun-free zones are always the ones that get shot up. Looking at you people. You people made this. You made it happen. You set the stage for a slaughter. And let's call a spade at this point. Because that's exactly what you people do. You set the stage for a slaughter when you disempower people from their own defense. Military installations. In the States, it is a federal offense to carry a gun. Military installations have been shot up on more than one occasion now. Schools, movie theaters that participate in this. The only places that get shot up are the places that you have had a direct impact. So you have done nothing. Your argument is invalid. It's tear-jerking and namby-pamby at best. And the only reason why people like you even think like this is because cowards have to exist in the world, I guess. But it is what it is. Guys like me, people that watch this channel, people that support these people in actuality versus in the moment, or how well it or how good it feels at the moment, will continue to carry a gun. Will continue to defend the sheep like you, and will always fight you. Because remember, a regular guy's firearm is the last defense against tyranny.